We are here at Old Marsh Golf Club in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. It's a beautiful morning, and we are here with major champion Justin Rose for On the Bag.
Let's see how you do.
Oh my gosh,
first test.
This is tough.
A 4 out of 10.
What's wrong with that?
Can you see like it's lumpy?
Oh, you're serious.
It's a little too thick.
Okay, so you're serious. You really care about this stuff. Okay. So we've done this with a few guys. We basically just nerd out about golf. Play 9 holes, and we're playing ball and hole today.
Okay.
So we don't, we're about the rules on this show.
All right.
We finish them out. How are we feeling going into the day? I know you said you were in England for a while.
Yeah, listen, there's not been much golf happening for me the last couple of weeks.
Classic excuse.
Yeah, I'm all about the excuse. But no, listen, so good to be out in a little bit of sunshine, hang out with you. Yeah, heading back to England tonight, so I'm making the most of this.
He's gonna hit some balls. We're gonna head over to the golf course and see if you can. I'm feeling something in the low 30s today.
Low 30s, all right.
32.
We'll definitely get into the low 30s. It's just how much golf
holes
is
we
left.
play.
Yeah,
Cool. Let's do it.
All right, bro.
We're on the 10th tee here. It looks like
208 past that section. Is that what we're looking
so
at?
I think we got that. I think we got that in the bag. It looks like it runs out at like 2, gets a little narrow there at like 278.
Yeah.
So you thinking kind of 3 wood just left of those trees?
I'm kind of thinking 3 was going to leave me a bit of a nothing number. I want the bit of a full shot. I'm thinking the 7 would, just pop it down there and leave myself like 80, 90.
I like that.
Yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah, good one. It's interesting that you said it's going to leave you a little bit of a nothing number, because I feel like the sort of conventional wisdom these days is like closer.
Certain times I'd love to push it up as close as we can, you know, especially back pins. 100%.
I was going to say, like, has your, the strategy side of golf has evolved a lot, as with every sport, since you've been a pro?
Yeah. It's all data driven now, you know? So yeah, all these stats guys you can kind of employ out on tour to say, this is how you play. All the shot-link data throughout the years creates or compiles all of these little pockets where you can see all the birdies come from here, or, guys are pushing it up on this hole. But I still feel like I'm a little old school, and I still kind of honor the old-fashioned process of fairways and greens.
Really?
Yeah, and I still think that serves me well, because even though the data says smash it, if you're not that inherently comfortable, the data can tell you whatever you want. But if you
the data's an average over 300 tour professionals or whatever it is. It's not you.
For sure. And if you are on the tee and there's that little bit in your mind going, it just doesn't feel right, then that's no longer a relevant statistic.
Do you notice that when you play with the younger guys, they seem to whack it a little bit more often?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think that serves week in, week out tour golf really well. I don't think that plays into major championship golf.
Huh.
So I think still my biggest advantage is still the tougher golf courses where old school strategy is still a really important part of it.
90 yards to the back, little back right pin.
Yeah, I'm not much of a full lob wedge kind of guy.
Yeah.
I don't often like to hit the lob a full, but for me, this is sort of in that world of, this would be a 930.
Okay.
So I use my left arm, swing it to 930. That's about a 90-yard shot, somewhat. So, I say about 86 when it's cool, 92 when it's boiling hot. I feel like that's the range.
That's good. It's wild that it varies that much.
Yeah, so I'd say maybe 89 right now.
Yeah, I like that. Go just a little left of it, maybe?
Yeah. Go.
Catch it a hair heavy, or?
No, I didn't.
Looks right at it. I like it.
All right, just under the hole.
I'm taking out the putter.
All right, yeah, we're definitely putting.
We're definitely putting. Good shot there.
Thank you.
When I was living in New York, I was a member, actually still am a member, of a golf course that you have quite an interesting history at.
New York.
Early in your career.
Oh, Quaker.
Quaker Ridge, baby.
Yeah.
Quaker Ridge.
Yes.
We got pictures of 17-year-old Justin Rose in the clubhouse.
The big Oakleys on?
Looking very fresh-faced.
Man, I was
funny because
fresh-faced.
that was kind of before the era of golfers being super athletes. So there's a bunch of kind of overweight guys, and then there's you look like a child in those photos.
Seriously, there were a few burly Scots in the team. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just looked. It was who's this kid?
Yeah, and then we got absolutely trounced by the
got
American
rocked.
team. But
Jason Gore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was high point scorer, 2 out of 4.
There you go.
So I kind of came away from it with a like a positive mindset.
Well, weren't you the youngest
Yeah,
ever?
youngest ever Walker Cup player at the time, and yeah, that was a cool experience for me actually. And yeah, Quaker Ridge was mind blowing. It was my first time outside of the States, outside of the UK, playing
like a Tillinghast with
like
like
a
thick
serious
rough
course.
everywhere.
And I remember being in my bathroom at night because I was told how hot New York was going to be.
Okay.
So I'd go and put on 4 or 5 layers of clothing. I'd run the shower as hot as I could.
Getting yourself ready?
And I'd get in there and I'd practice my putting in the bathroom like for like a couple hours.
Come on.
Yeah, that
As
was
a
my
17-year-old kid?
That was my mental prep.
So you an aim point guy?
I am an aim point guy. I'm actually a mixed strategy guy. So I don't religiously do anything. I say that I think I'm better with my eye than I am with my feet.
Okay.
So I do try to call it. I try to say, okay, for me, what am I seeing here? I'm seeing there's not a lot of slope in the early part of my putt. And then as it climbs the hill, I feel like it's going to go left a little bit.
Okay.
So,
And you'll check it with your feet?
so I might check it with my feet. I check it with my feet if I'm unsure, just to see if I can feel anything. But if I was here, I would use aim point. I'd say I'm putting across a 2. So I'd throw up 2 fingers to give me what I call
Why? Just because it's like a slopier putt?
Yeah, on slopier putts, I'm like, okay, that's my ballpark read. I think it stops me under reading putts.
Got it.
You know?
Yeah, that's what amateurs do all the time.
Yeah, 100%.
So you got this like right edge-ish?
I got this right edge-ish. I'm happy to take a read though.
I think it's like right edge, bang it up the hill.
I always call Fuchin on the right edges because that's all he ever gives me.
We call these putts at my club when they're like up the hill and pretty straight. It's a rat in the drain putt.
All right, yeah.
Are they rolling pure enough for you?
That was so pure.
How good was that?
That was so pure.
Nice putt.
Thank you, Bods.
1 under.
All right, let's go.
That didn't take us very long. It's only $3.99.
Yeah, I think there's a 3-wood hole. Yeah, I think you're dead right.
Perfect. And then you think the line is like, I guess I can sort of, like, you see over the stake? Or do you think that's too far left?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay, let's do that. Get on the ground. It's golfing, I think. Yeah, fine.
I guess that's why we hit 3-wood.
Yeah, good smart play there.
Slightly bigger target. Do some work with Jason Goldsmith on sort of the mental side. You know, we use focus band, and it is amazing how your brain will, because we're getting the feedback of what's going on with the brainwave activity. And if you do have a club that you're not comfortable with, we can kind of see at times.
Your heart rate goes up?
Well, there's a bit of, yeah, they call it left brain, right brain, or that's the way the app feeds back anyway. But, you know, one side's analytical, the other side's more creative. And then if you have a question, like the club, you know, you have that internal question. It's funny how that can show up.
Like, so you're saying the analytical side will light up where it would be probably more ideal from a performance perspective for it to be like reactive.
Yeah, for example, if you put down a drive and you're like, that might just be a bit towed in, or, you know, you're not consciously thinking it, but you're absorbing something off of the it's feedback, right?
Yeah. So what was that other Quaker Ridge story?
Oh, yeah, just remember the first tee shot, right? So you
Par
play
5, out of bounds down the right.
Well, it's funny you say that.
Oh, here we go.
So first time I've ever played in front of big crowds, and I'm playing with a guy, Michael Brooks, and if you see this, Michael, I'm sorry, because I'm about to throw you right under the bus.
Was it alt shot or best ball?
It was an alternate shot, so
Okay.
we're playing foursomes in the morning. I call it foursomes.
Yeah.
So we're preparing, and obviously this is quite amateurish, but 10 minutes before we're playing, he's like, right, okay, you're hitting the first tee shot. Good luck, buddy.
It's so funny that you say
know?
that. It's so funny that you say that because, like, contrast that with, like, when you guys played the Ryder Cup this year, you had every single thing mapped out.
You
to
know
a
for
T.
days what's going on. But anyway, so Michael was meant to be hitting the first tee shot, but right before we were about to play, he's like, nah, you're doing it.
He's just nervous?
He kind of pushed me in there. So I'm like, okay, well, cool, fine, fair enough. And obviously I get on the tee, and on the tee representing GB and I, Justin Rose, and suddenly I'm like, oh boy, you know, the knees felt a little shaky, and I hit it straight right out of bounds. So the beauty of that is that he had to then get up.
Sorry, buddy, you're hitting the tee shot.
And peg it up. And then he hit this low quack hook that nearly killed everybody down the left edge of the tee box. And we were hitting our 7th shot from like 180.
That's a hot start.
It was like, okay, when your whole guys
One
move
down.
on, yeah.
Sitting
bad.
up, sitting up real nice.
But anytime you're in the first cut like this, you got questions, right? You got questions on what's it going to do? Is it going to come out quick? Is it going to come out with more spin?
That one looks like it might come out a little high on the face and spinning.
Spinnier, yeah.
Sorry, 166. It feels
high.
like
just a puff into, right?
Feels like a lot to ask for 8-iron, or
I'm feeling you, because although, yeah, long does not look pretty.
it's either like a little chippy 7 or hit the 8 good and probably accept, 20, 25 feet.
You know, having just rolled a putt in on the first, I'm
I like
kind
the
of
way you're rolling it.
happy to accept maybe the 20-footer. Oh, come out a little spinny.
It's got to go, right?
Yeah, it's front edge at best.
Go hard. Okay.
Right at it though.
Listen, we're playing strategic golf, my friend. We are playing strategic golf. Just came out high on the face.
Yeah, not so much high on the face, because I think for me the high on the face is actually more of a knuckly feel.
Interesting, okay.
But what we've done through testing through the years is that when there's a bit of moisture in the ground as well, it's your wedges. So probably your sand wedges, your pitching wedge, maybe 9-iron they come out a bit knuckly. But then when you start to get to your mid-irons,
Yeah.
you increase spin.
Yeah.
So there's this kind of interesting bell
That
curve.
that's like not intuitive.
Yeah, totally not, right? But those are the sorts of
So
little...
you say you're old school, but you use the toys.
Use the toys to figure this type of stuff out, right? And there's like, for example, classic scenario, 15th at Augusta.
Okay.
You can hit a great tee shot just down that right side and just be in that first cut. And for me in the past, I've been caught out there and I've hit what feel like great shots with like a 4-iron into the green, and the ball just comes out a bit spinnier out of that first cut.
In that water short, yeah.
Just comes up that 10-yard short, so.
That's one of the great things about that place is like the rough's not super long, but because of the way the course is designed, you got to control spin.
Yeah, everything about Augusta is like a 5-yard landing quadrant on the green.
Yeah.
But that's the difference between a good shot or your ball getting repelled 30 yards.
Yeah.
And having it really tough.
Yeah, they
up
always
and
said
down.
iron play was like the number one like predictor of success out there.
Yeah.
God, I don't know if all these greens are this flat, but do you like it out always?
I'm an out guy, yeah, 100%.
You're not like Fitzy, you don't like to bang it in off the stick from 12 feet?
I think it's a weird thing for me that I get, but all the actual flag poles that we play are all so different from one another.
They're not standardized
they're not
on tour?
standardized.
Oh, well, that makes no sense then.
So some weeks it might be a good strategy, other weeks it might be terrible strategy.
Yeah.
I mean, I swear I hit a chip off the back of Sedgefield, the 18th. I needed it to make the cut. So obviously it's gone in with a little bit more pace than usual. And I'm just off the green, and the ball hit the pin, and then hit the right edge and spun out. And I swear that would have gone in with no pin.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't quite know.
I just think it looks so bad. I could never.
Yeah.
It's not even a numbers thing for me. This is another. It's also pretty straight. It's gonna fall a little left probably.
I'm actually wondering if it's straight, and then the last 10 feet, if it might creep right.
Okay.
From like the left center only.
And I guess with like a longer putt, the break at the hole matters more than.
Correct.
Yeah.
More influence there. Although they say it's the middle third of the putt that is the biggest predictor of where you should be worrying about the break.
Yeah, because I guess that determines like where it attacks the hole from.
I guess, right?
Yeah. Do it. Ooh, it did go a little left, huh?
Yeah, actually look, there's a tiniest little like dew line we've got here. You can just see.
Oh, you can see the path of it?
You can see the path of it if you get down.
Good speed.
I think I hit it right in the middle of the hole, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a good stroke. These greens are pure. Is Fooch active on the greens with you?
Not really, no. Actually, we played in Hong Kong a few weeks ago, and that was the most active he's been, actually.
You think he was just like bored and
Yeah,
try something new?
Yeah, I just thought I'd just work him a little harder.
It is a par 5, so you can see here, it looks like it's kind of 313, like the edge of the tree line is 313 through on the left.
Okay.
What does driver fly, like 300, 295?
I would say today, this morning, puff into, if anything. Yeah, I don't think we're challenging now. I think I've got all the fairway, so it's driver all day.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. Flushy, flushy.
Take that.
Do you like being an equipment free agent?
I do, it comes with its challenges as well, because as soon as you show a sign of weakness in your testing, It's like, boom, you get swarmed
Do
by...
they kind of sniff around?
They sniff around. I mean, everyone's very respectful. If you set, no one bothers you. But the minute you're showing a little interest, it's like, okay.
For me, it's so I don't think I could ever be an equipment free agent because options in life really stress me out.
Right.
So like, there's this phenomenon called the paralysis of choice.
Yeah.
Which is like, if someone goes into a grocery store and there's 2 toothpastes, versus if a person goes into a grocery store and there's 20 toothpastes, the person will feel better about their purchase scientifically when there's only 2.
Okay.
Because when there's all these options, you're like, should I have gone with that one?
They know they probably haven't had the time to make the
right decision.
Yeah,
and there's just like a little bit. So for me, it would be like, just give me a golf club.
Yeah.
Probably why I'm not a professional golfer.
No,
but
that makes sense for sure. I'm quite cavalier in terms of making changes too as well. So it can go both ways for me. I can find stuff and I can make improvements, but at the same time, I can also just, on a given week, take a bit of a chance and just throw something in. But,
So with Mastercard, obviously the Arnold Palmer Invitational.
Yeah.
That guy is probably the big, everyone puts him on the Mount Rushmore, and I don't think it's obviously it's for his playing accomplishments, but I feel like it's more what he meant to the game.
For sure. I mean, just charisma. It's hard to have.
Charisma. Riz.
Yeah.
He had a lot of riz.
Riz. I was an Orlando guy for a long time, and both my kids were born in the Winnie Palmer Hospital for Women and Children. So, when you sort of really see what he's done in the community in which you've lived and made such a huge difference in that area, that just kind of is part of the legacy. But then obviously you go out to Bay Hill and you go there and you just play in the men's Friday roll-up game.
Yeah, Bay Hill's got like a really cool community.
Yeah, they do. And Arnold was a fixture in that. He
was around.
He was around, and I think that's what made him so cool, is that he was on this Mount Rushmore kind of pedestal, but he was just one of the guys too. And one of my favorite moments was at the Open Championship, and the Legends of the Game, it was at St Andrews in 2015, and the Legends of the Game were doing like a 2 or 3 hole loop.
Yeah, like they did in 22.
Right,
yeah.
So they did that back in 15, and Arnold wasn't feeling well, but he was kind of out there just supporting the event. And I was on one of the double greens that was the opposite way to the way that they were playing the course. And he kind of just walked up to me, "Hey Justin, how you doing?" Had 5-minute chat, but it was the way he grabbed my putter. And it was just the way he was holding my putter.
You're like getting goosebumps.
Caressing it. I'm like, man, this guy loves... He was, in his 80s, not feeling great, and you could just tell how much he loved the game just by the way he held a golf club.
He's at home with the golf club.
Yeah.
One thing I really like about the Arnold Palmer Invitational presented by Mastercard, it's got an identity. Like you know it's going to be a tough test.
100%. Yeah, they set that thing up to challenge us. Firm greens, thick rough.
Like you're going to get your teeth kicked in. It's like almost a major championship test.
Yeah, 100%. And
the rough and the greens.
Yeah, it's always been a special event for me, just having, like I said, living in Orlando, but also we did a lot of our charity work and activated a lot of it there at Bay Hill. And Amy Palmer, Arnold's daughter, was always very, very helpful in terms of hosting a bunch of kids that we would always bring out to the tournament. Obviously, we'd do all the feeding programs, but then bring those kids out for a bit of a day out, So I was playing with Tiger one year, and all the kids were kind of there waiting to say hi on the first tee to me. But hey, when you're playing with Tiger,
they're there for you.
They're going to see that, obviously they didn't know a lot about golf, these kids, but everyone knows Tiger Woods. So that was one of the coolest moments when I said to Tiger, "Hey buddy, can you do me a favor, hit your tee shot in one, and then just give the kids a little hello." And so he did. He gave a little wave as we walked past, and they were just...
Those kids never forget that.
100%.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, we are in the middle of the fairway, which is where I like to be on par 5s. I'm getting 220. Does that sound right?
Okay.
Do we smash 4-iron or do we float a little 7-wood at the at kind of the cameraman?
Let's have a look at the map here.
I'm not sure. Oh yeah, it'll give us a little bit. There's a false front. And then here, you want me to shoot the front and sort of see
Yeah, if we can.
how much room we have? I'm getting 200 to the lip, so I think the pin might be a little toward the back. So I think there's probably...
Okay, I'm going to give the 4-iron a whirl and just assume that we can't do too much damage short.
I think if it starts at that guy and turns over, I think it's on the green.
All right, let's give that a whirl.
Yeah. Keep turning. Sit right there. It's not a bad place to chip from.
Yeah, I think so. It sort of came out a bit spinny, didn't it, as well?
It wasn't the prettiest ball flight I've ever seen. You hit.
Yeah.
I just got high standards for you. You said earlier that you're difficult to deal with on the golf course. What is that? What do you mean by that?
I think I'm a perfectionist by nature.
Okay.
And Therefore, when something doesn't go well, sometimes when I'm not at my best, I want to psychoanalyze it. Why? You know, it does me no good because it's obviously it's in the past, right?
Yeah.
So not going to necessarily help the next shot unless you do it productively and you go, okay, well, there's something quickly that you can learn and move on. But sometimes that can just create that little bit of friction out there on, you know, where someone perceivably has made a mistake or not accounted for something or this or that, and then I don't know.
But it seems
It's
like
not a strength of mine. I want to know why. Why?
But so most of it though is like directed at yourself, where like a bad swing will set you off, not like a bad bounce or like if there's a pin you don't like.
No, it's more like our process. It's like for me, when I'm playing well, especially, I feel like if you put the right inputs into the computer, it should produce a good golf shot.
Yeah.
I know that in reality, probably there's elements to that.
We're outside.
Yeah.
So that makes things a little complicated.
I know.
Maybe TGL is like, maybe that'll be
Control
like
the
a panacea for you. Yeah.
Control the environment a little bit more. Yeah, but listen, I think that's what's made me great too, or definitely given me the impetus to try to be great, is that I feel like I like to delve into the detail and chase down that incremental 1% gain here, there, and everywhere. So I think it's a blessing and a curse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think if I was, I admire DJ and guys that have those types of attitudes where it rolls off your back.
You can't fake that.
I don't think you can fake that.
You can't.
No, you can try and take elements and go, it's what makes them great. But I think it's got to be quite personal.
You know who's like that, who I noticed this year? And again, not to bring up a heartbreak, but Xander at Troon.
Yeah.
So I was doing commentary for the BBC that week, and I was walking with him on that Saturday, which was horrendous weather, as you remember.
Yeah, sure.
And everyone is like putting on, taking off rain gear. Everyone's freezing cold. He wore a cashmere sweater. He didn't even put on rain gear. And he was literally like, and I remember because you were kind of emotional that week. Billy was pretty emotional that week. Shane was pretty emotional that week.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, he was like completely stoic.
He's locked in, yeah.
Locked in.
Yeah, he's always like that. And I think I think that's probably one of the biggest assets to his game. I saw a thing on Instagram there was like a spider web charts, and it told how many guys, if you had a weapon or not.
Yeah, like relative skill.
Yeah, relative skills, and he had all five.
Yeah.
All five of them. Scotty was 4. Guys were in different categories there. And I think though, if it was a strokes gained attitude, that would be another string to his bow for sure. When I walked here, the first thing I saw was landing it into actually short of the green.
I always notice this with pros. I think amateurs think mistakenly that you guys are always throwing it up in the air and putting the brakes on it and hitting these sexy shots. But like I watched Scotty chip, and it's more often than not, it's the low one.
Yeah, I think especially this morning with a little bit of moisture still on the ground, I think the ball's gonna
skid,
grease through. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna get. If you're chipping into the grain, always a bit of a problem. But
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have enough on this to skip it through here.
So what club are you taking here?
I'm going 56.
Okay. Beautifully done. It's a perfectly.
I mean, absolute perfect pace on everything. Just underrated. I mean,
Jason Day was saying with chips, he doesn't really think about leaving it below the hole that much. Do you?
No, I think
Try to get as close as possible?
Yeah, if you try to, I'd rather have it 2 feet above the hole than 4 feet below.
Yeah.
Just the percentage curve on putts made, like
It's not as different as you think.
3 feet's 99%, 4 feet's 80%, 5 feet's 70%.
And you don't think there's that big a difference between uphill and downhill?
I mean, much harder to make an 8-footer downhill than an 8-footer uphill, but 2-footer downhill versus 3-footer uphill.
You just got to start it online.
Yeah, I'm all about the shorter putt.
I'm not gonna say anything here.
Okay.
I feel like this is the professional golfer's putt.
Yeah, I think that's probably a smart call from a caddy's point of view.
You know what I mean? Like 4 feet up the hill.
Yeah,
Like,
you can only probably plant a seed.
look, I'm not doing any good here. Yeah, good putt.
Thanks.
Very nicely done.
So, I was having a conversation with myself there in my head of, okay, I'm putting through my shadow, made it quite hard to visualize the roll of the ball. So I just really got into the line on the top of my ball and said, okay, just trust your line.
So
and just really try to take.
So it's interesting that you say that. You don't have like a crazy set process then about like what you're looking and what you kind of mix it up?
I would like to have had there, but I felt like there was interference there. So then you've got to be able to adapt.
It's nice to know even pro golfers are so sensitive to be bothered by a shadow, because we all feel it when we putting through a shadow. It feels terrible.
I think that's the thing. If you feel it, you got to do something about it. And then I think the only thing you got to do is commit. Whatever you decide to do, i.e., I'm not worried about my shadow. I'm going to still visualize my putt. Commit.
Yeah.
Or actually, I'm going to take that out of it and just roll it down my line on the ball. Commit.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the thing and then don't quite make the positive action. Okay, number 13.
Number 13. They're all pretty straightforward if you hit it as straight as you do.
Is there a way of roughly knowing how far that bunker is?
Yeah, I think it's going to be about 300, but let's take a look.
I feel like that's what the hole's telling us, is to hit it towards that.
My eye is drawn to the bunker.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. It's 326 to the left part of it and about 318 to the right part of it. So you just like driver at the kind of left center of it, or you like 3-wood?
I pulled 3-wood, so should I just go with that? Because
I'm not overruling you.
Yeah, something's just telling me that that's the way to go.
I am not overruling it. Beauty. Really nice.
Yeah.
Swinging it nicely. This Florida humidity probably feels nice.
Get the old bones moving. I love it.
You know?
Yeah, the sun's got some pop to it now.
So we were talking about, so you're 17, you play in the Walker Cup, you're youngest ever. You have that run at the Open, and then you turn professional, and you're humbled pretty quickly.
Whew. Yeah.
So what was it, 20 cuts in a row? 21 cuts in a row?
21, yeah.
What do you remember about that time now that you've had so much success and your life has changed so much since?
Yeah, it felt like it went on forever.
How long was it?
It was probably over a year. There was a moment in time where I dropped back down onto the Challenge Tour and did kind of do okay and made an odd cut, but on tour, yeah, on the tour itself, just miscut. I had to, I felt like it was a shame because the Open was so special, right? It was such an incredible story, and I felt like I got swept along with this wave of emotion and support, and just was the most bodacious way to finish your amateur career by holding that shot. So it was almost a shame that I couldn't have positive memories on it, because I felt like my only way through those 21 missed cuts was to take the Open completely out of it. It was this completely skewing factor that kind of created too much expectation and pressure on me.
External, but also internal?
I guess external, but then you start to feed off that and feel that, right? So
you don't want to let people down.
Yeah, you can't unhear things, you can't unsee things. So, all the things that were coming at me were having to be processed. So then I just sort of went back to very simple, okay, Rosie, who are you? Yeah, youngest ever Walker Cup player. You did this, you did that. You can clearly play the game. So let's just couple some natural talent with hard work. Mm-hmm. And that's my equation. And let's just keep the head down, keep working. But I tell you what happened. I turned pro after the Open. I was always turning pro no matter what happened that week. So some people think, you turn pro off the back of it, and that wasn't the case.
You were done being an amateur.
Yeah, and we were willing to do my learning as a pro. I wasn't the finished article. So we had a 3-year plan to kind of establish myself on tour with a tour card.
Yeah.
When I look back at the whole process, it took 3 years, and I was on tour with a tour card. So the Open just became like...
It just skewed everything.
Yeah, but the decision making around turning pro actually turned out to be, I think, very valid.
Were you like, were you always like the best, one of the best juniors? Like, did you peak later? Were you always kind of...
No, I was way ahead of the curve,
Yeah.
Like when I was 14, I won the England under-16s and the England under-18 championships, and so
the expectations weren't altogether new.
No, they weren't because of 1 week. They were sort of compounded by that week.
Yeah.
But I was always sort of ahead of the curve. And obviously as a kid, when you're 12 and you're beating the 14-year-olds, you think, pretty easy.
It's impossible not to be cocky when you're a kid. All right, we got 144.
From you. From me. Right.
Should we do that again? Should we do that again? These are the margins.
Every yard matters, baby.
I mean, for you guys. 141.
Yeah. Okay,
because
that is important because it's putting me now more into my wedge
Into the
realm.
wedge territory.
Here I'm considering 9. Here I'm all over the wedge.
Maybe a touch of help, if anything?
That's what I'm hoping for, exactly.
So this goes like 40 in the air?
Yeah, this should be a nice number.
Okay. I like it right at this guy.
Yeah,
I mean, it's in the middle of the green. Be good. That one fell right, I think.
Yeah, Yeah, when I hit it, I kind of felt like it was gonna
Yeah.
work back towards
I thought
the
it was gonna.
flagstick.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna turn the other way. You look at the divot a lot. Is that a key for you?
Yeah, that would be a key for me. I don't like the ball ever really finishing left of my divot.
Okay.
You know, that's
Yeah.
because obviously that means that there's more face rotation than I'd like.
Yeah. And you said that's something you kind of battle.
Yeah. You know, I grew up always as a kid with an open face.
Okay.
My dad kind of taught me that way.
He taught you how to play.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, but I think that made me a releaser of the club.
Yeah.
So a bit more old school.
How did you get started? Was your dad a big golfer?
He was a keen golfer, not a very good one, but a keen one.
He
And I
liked
think he cottoned on early that if he was going to be able to go and play golf all the time, taking me with him was his passport out onto the golf course.
Okay.
You know? And then, you know, he saw that I had a keenness to it.
Did you
and
play
then,
other sports?
Yeah, I played all sports till I was about 13, 14.
Okay.
You know, a little bit of, listen, at school, it's nothing serious, but football, soccer was probably the one sport I played for school and a little club. But yeah, I could start to feel myself getting injured, groin injuries, like just stuff that was actually annoying for golf. So,
And it sounds like you knew from a pretty young age that golf was gonna.
From age 12, I'd say it was, no doubt in my mind that I was going to be a pro golfer.
Yeah. When did you move to this? So before you lived in the Bahamas, you lived in Orlando, you were saying?
Yeah.
When did you move to Orlando?
So moved to Orlando in my early 20s. I was about 23, I think, 22, 23.
Culture shock a little?
A little bit, but I sort of felt like it was a really important move. Europeans hadn't really settled very well in America through the years. You had Darren Clark and Lee Westwood who tried to make the move, Monty. Even Feldo really didn't kind of settle, I don't think, as well. But I really felt, for me, it was a really important part of my process if I wanted to win major championships. Like
to play full time here?
Yeah, the step up, it felt like traveling over from Europe and then coming to play in the majors felt massive.
Yeah. Break. Stayed super straight.
Did, didn't it?
God, it was another perfect roll.
Almost just toppled to the right.
Experiences make life more meaningful. And with Mastercard's Priceless.com, you can immerse yourself in unforgettable experiences in dining, sports, art, entertainment, and more in over 40 destinations. From a round of golf with a legendary player to a cooking class with a celebrity chef, you can fuel your passions and create lasting memories. Explore experiences today at Priceless.com exclusively for Mastercard cardholders. Terms and conditions apply. .209 looks to me like a front pin. What does 5-iron go?
Yeah, 205.
I feel like it's a big 5-iron.
Yeah, I kind of like it though. I feel like with 4, I'm swinging away from trouble, kind of.
Okay.
I think this feels like it needs to be a committed golf shot.
You clearly see it, so.
Yeah.
Just good full one, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Kind of at the stake?
Do I see it at the pin.
Because of the water left?
Yeah, I just think it gives me more margin. Oh my God.
Get going.
I stood over that for so long.
Did you see the bird?
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself as the bird's flying over, I'm like, please don't see the bird.
I did. I saw that. See, there you go. That is classic mental error. See, I wouldn't call that a bad swing. I'd call that...
So you feel like you should have backed off?
Should have backed off, yeah. And those are like those little moments of discipline in tournaments that stack up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy, like, I was watching, are you familiar with like Decade, Decade golf?
Yeah.
You know, like the concept? So I was watching one of the videos and it was showing Tiger, Bethpage when he won 2002, I think it was the US Open, and they have a stopwatch.
Okay.
Between when, his caddy at the time, like when Steve stepped out until he hit the ball.
Okay.
And it was like within like 0.2 of a second every time. And he used that as like a example of this is mental golf at its strongest when your process is just completely locked in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because in that scenario, it's either well drilled enough to get you through any type of little glitch that you might think about, or you're so locked in. So
Yeah.
That is so important.
You saw Tiger at his absolute heyday.
Yeah.
Because you were one of those guys, I mean, your careers line up almost exactly. What did it feel like going against him back in the day?
Yeah, not much fun, but awesome at the same time. So I think it was, I want to say like the BMW Championship. It was at Cog Hill. It was about 2007, I want to say, something like that.
Okay.
We're in the third or fourth last group. We are obviously in with a shout to win the tournament. We're in and around the lead, but we're kind of just in that nice, comfortable back position. So we tee off, and we're chit-chatting, and we're having a good time. We're talking about the Bahamas and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, oh my God, this is great. Tiger Woods is my best friend.
Besties.
And then I'm 3 under through 6. He's 4 under through 6. Oh, it's still
Vibes are high.
Yeah, we're like, this is great. And then we make the turn, and suddenly it was like,
Goodbye.
goodbye. And it was the greatest lesson I've ever had, because he did everything so much slower. He locked in, his eyes just went, obviously his routine was good, but he walked slower. He just absolutely lasered in and put together a great back nine, won the tournament.
And you remember that.
And I was like, that's how it's done.
That's proper.
Because the intensity of the early part of the round probably suited him too. Relaxed, free, get off to a good start. Because sometimes that deep intensity from hole one doesn't serve you well either.
5 hours of like high stress.
Yeah, but he kind of waved the load, and just when it mattered, kind of figured it out.
Locked in.
It's cool.
You see low here again?
I do.
Yeah. Because I mean, you're not going to be able to spin it much going down the hill.
Yeah, now it's about just getting the right energy, because from here it's about a 6-foot putt. It's pretty quick.
Yeah. Were you ever like, did you ever go like hybrid off the ground, like woods? Ever you experiment with that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this would be
a little too long.
Be a little too long, but if you're going up a really steep slope, and you
need a little,
you're concerned about the ball coming back to your feet.
Yeah. It's probably a pretty similar shot to the last hole, honestly, or to the par 5 rather.
Yeah, I could definitely. I guess I just got to make a decision now. I'm in my head, I'm thinking 52, 56. So because I've got two things in my mind, I need to commit to one of them. I'm going to go 52.
Okay. Feels right. It's a really nice touch.
Yeah.
It kicked left pretty good, but I'll take that.
Yeah, it was a tough shot.
Yeah.
Just not quite disciplined on the read again, maybe like the other hole. Just got it going low.
And you like giving yourself this putt today?
Yeah.
This one's outside the hole, I think.
This one's got some movement, doesn't it?
It looks like it's, you see that like old little pitch mark?
Yeah.
Just the inside of that?
I think it's got a roll on the inside of that, so I think my start line's right of that.
Got it. Right, you said middle part of the part is important.
Yeah.
Middle part of the, you need your ball, don't you?
You need the ball.
That was the look of, give me the ball.
See, I see this in the world of like a 2%, so I might use my aim point here a little bit. I mean, that would give me a cup to 2 cups.
You think it's breaking that much?
I do. I think it's a cup.
Okay, I like it. I trust the math.
That was weak putt. Snap though.
Little snappy, yeah. Got low and just.
Yeah.
All right. Tee shot put us behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, that was. Paid the price for a poor routine.
That damn bird. Just good full driver right at that mound.
Love it.
Smashy. Hit that one nice.
Yeah, that had a little higher launch. If I look at my career, there's guys that I was always on the leaderboard with at the same time.
Yeah.
And I feel like golf courses that suited John Senden, I always played well at.
Ball striker.
Even like Mark Leishman, I feel like a lot of times he played well, I was on the leaderboard.
Interesting.
So it was weird how you just saw names appear that
yeah,
sort of suited certain games.
totally.
The last 5 years of my career, California has been a better spot for me.
Well, Pebble.
Pebble,
I gotta
Torrey.
tell you, for you to finish 3rd at that 2019 US Open with where you were hitting the golf ball is one of the great achievements in modern golf.
Oh man, I know that. I mean,
you were getting up and down from there.
Yeah, that was crazy. And I look back and I rue that one because I think I was leading with like 8 holes to play as well, albeit by 1, and a lot of guys in the mix. But yeah, God, that was.
You were making everything. You were like.
That was. Actually, I played the first 2 days with Tiger there as well, which I love, Cause
that was right after he had won the Masters.
Yeah, because I don't know, when you play with him, you're forced to just focus up.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
There's
just a lot of stuff going on.
Have you enjoyed playing with him throughout your career?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
First time I did it was 2002, the Open Championship at Muirfield. So I was just coming off. It was kind of like my breakthrough. I'd missed all those cuts as a kid. I finally got it together. I'd won 4 times that year already.
Okay. I'd say that's getting it together.
Yeah, so twice on the Sunshine Tour in South Africa, twice on the European Tour. And it was top 50 in the world. I was 21. Get paired with Tiger, and I actually remember it being one of the best speeches my dad ever gave me. But Tiger was absolutely in his prime. The aura for him was real. Like, you'd look at the guy and go, oh my God, you're not even human. Do you know what I mean? It was sort of had this thing about him. But my dad, unfortunately, at the time was suffering with cancer, leukemia, and he kind of just sat me down. I was like, listen, just put everything in perspective. Like, playing golf with T-dubs is, in the grand scheme of things, not the hardest thing we're going to have to face in our lives, and blah, 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 blah. And gave me a beautiful speech, kind of put me in a good mindset to go and play golf. And yeah, I think I was 4 under through 9, and I think which was important because that was the first time I played with him, and kind of from that moment I've always enjoyed playing with him.
Yeah.
You
view it as like an opportunity to show off almost.
Yeah, or just know I can, and it's not a big deal.
172. Let's see if we can get a middle yardage somewhere. It looks like the pin's back on a shelf, doesn't it?
It does.
So it's like 155 middle, so that pin's way in the back.
Okay, I think 8 iron is where I'm leaning then.
Yeah,
sure.
I think so. A little bit of help again.
Yeah, it might have a chance of getting back there, but.
Think it's gonna get back there?
No, I think it's about 5 yards short.
Yeah, it kind of looked like it landed in the hill. It's a good shot.
Just seeing if there's any reaction from the camera guy.
Yeah, he's a tough crowd.
He didn't look too excited.
He's a tough. Well, you almost hooped it on the first hole and we didn't get anything, so I don't know if that's a fair assessment.
I sort of feel like that's a scenario on tour. You're just waiting for someone up on the green to clap and you're looking, or
you guys use that a lot. I feel like. Yeah.
And then there's moments where you walk up and it's 6 feet and no one's clapped. You're like, hey guys, come on.
You're not entertained? Yeah. What's the schedule going to look like next year? Are you playing?
Oh man, I'm kind of feel like I'm pretty hammered down on the PGA Tour January through August. There's no let up for me.
So you're not going to start in Dubai or whatever?
I'm in actually the Team Cup, which is GBI versus Europe.
Pavone was telling me he's playing in that.
Yeah. So I'm captain of Team GB this year, which will be cool.
I wonder why they're doing that. I wonder why they made you the captain.
Yeah, I wonder.
Maybe it might be just a hint toward a future captaincy potentially.
See if I'm any good at it.
Yeah. No pressure or anything,
And then, Francesco Molinari's on the other side. And then actually Luke Donald kind of comes in as an umbrella kind of captain role.
Yeah.
Obviously over the top of both teams because, it's valuable reps, I guess. Yeah, that's 8 iron was critical, wasn't it? It had to get to that 5 yards short. And then obviously didn't realize you had this downslope.
Yeah, but I think you landed it right on the number we were talking about.
Yeah, 100%, right?
That one might have had a look too.
Apparently it's right at the edge.
And we don't get a clap or anything. What a tough crowd. Great shot.
Thanks, bud. So this is an interesting read I often find, is like side on. Actually reading it like a book. Someone said to me, like, sometimes seeing how much it stands up at you is quite a nice perspective.
You look at the hole and stuff?
I look at the midsection.
Yeah, you're big midsection guy.
Yes, I am, yeah. Can you see that standing up at you?
A little bit. I still don't know that it's going to break all that much.
Top side of the edge.
I like that. Go left?
Yeah.
What a strange putt that was. I mean, you can see just with where the line is.
Man.
I didn't see that at all. I'm feeling at least 2 birdies coming down the stretch.
What am I, only 1 under now?
1 under.
Played better than that.
You've hit it really nicely.
Totally different hole.
This reminds me of like a Harbour Town hole.
Yes, good shout, bro. This is number 4, Harbour Town.
Is this Pete Dye? 174. You're thinking about 8 iron.
Yeah,
because it's warming up.
Right in the middle, aren't I?
Yeah, I can tell.
Do you know what? I am. I'm going to play this back foot. I'm actually going to try and get some movement on this ball. And
Little trapper.
yeah.
I like it. There's a little help.
Okay.
Yeah. It's moving. Go. I think it's the right number.
Yeah, definitely the right number.
I gather that you'd rather smash 8-iron a lot of times than hit like a little cheeky 7.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. I just felt like, I know the pin's not left, but you know, just given the way the hole looks with the water down the left,
I like it starting right.
it kind of just feels like it's that shot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas 7, I was going to have to feel like I was cutting it up.
Yeah.
Don't practice enough of that.
Enough of what?
Like,
Why not? Because on the range you just...
get a little bit too much into just the stock.
Yeah.
So that's another thing for me for 25 that I want to do more of, is take care of that at home, get on tour. It sounds obvious. It's just so easy to get caught up. Fairly subtle one again.
There's not a ton of movement, at least
No.
so far.
I think this is a mirror image of what I'm thinking the last hole was, like a tiny bit left to right. But tell me what she's, at this point I'm listening more to you.
I think it's left to right, definitely. I think it's kind of like in here.
Okay, so you've got a reasonable amount.
You think that's too high? I just see this, like from here it looks like it's, like you talked about, the middle part of the putt.
Yeah.
I feel like could kick it right pretty good. And you need the golf ball.
Yes,
I just want to keep that thing.
I'll sign it for you later, bud. You son of
Good
a
putt.
Yeah, end over end roll. It was
Yeah.
nice. Overread, underread.
We're gonna get it just right the last 2. That's what that means. It opens up a little bit on the left, but
Gotcha.
yeah, I think it's probably at those 2 trees just right of it.
Love it.
Yeah. Hang on. I think it should be fine.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
No splash.
Oh man.
No splash.
Seriously, if you had one of those machines, you talk about those machines, my whatever bad side of the brain would have been
Okay, just-
lit up there. So I wanted to ask you, like now you're living back in the UK. When we've talked about it a little bit, it's the work-life balance piece has changed a little bit for you.
Yeah.
And that's something you kind of have to manage.
It is, you know, I think there's been a shift in my priorities really. I can't be in that selfish mode. You know, right now I've got kids that are at the prime age to, you know, where school's really, really important and they're setting themselves up for their future. And I also think, you know, living back at home with, you know, loved ones not getting any younger. You know, my mum obviously back in England, my sister lives there with her kids. So, you know, being around extended family, I think those are the things that I find priceless now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those are the moments that really, really matter. Obviously, yes, I've had a wonderful career. I still want to continue to kick on and have an incredible career and take it to the next level, or have a couple of more moments that accentuate what's been a good career. But yeah, like I said, those times at home are precious.
If I could offer you 7 more PGA Tour wins or 1 major championship, what would you take?
1 major championship.
So Jason Day said 7 more wins.
Yeah.
Because for him, he said, you know, he's about, I guess he's quite a bit younger than you though. He's 7
Yeah.
years younger. He said
Has he won 13?
13.
So that'd take him to 20.
That's also another thing that he said.
So if you give me 9 or a major,
The lifetime
that's
membership.
kind of like, it becomes maybe a different conversation.
Yeah.
But you didn't. You only offered me 7. You're tight. You're cheap.
How good was getting back in the winner's circle at Pebble?
Yeah, I mean, awesome. I think 4 years slips by quick. And actually, Jason Day and I have talked about that. We've been on the golf course like a year prior to maybe me winning at Pebble and going, dude, I mean, this is tough. Like, you know, we really feel like we still have it, but it's just, you know, it's getting frustrating not being able to deliver in that on that. So not winning kind of takes its toll. And he's won, right? It's relatively recently?
Yeah, he won in Texas.
Yeah. So I kind of feel like since we both had that conversation,
Maybe that was it.
we were fortunate enough to kind of get that monkey back off our backs, you know?
Wow, that was actually closer than I thought it was.
It was
gonna
closer
be.
than I thought.
I thought it was going to kind of kick forward in the fairway here.
Yeah, I was a little too comfortable there.
But hey, like you said, at least we're swinging aggressively. So the flag is 279.
Can you give me an idea what that little bunker is on the left?
260.
I'm gonna just hit a 3-wood that doesn't get it out of the, doesn't get in the air.
And just kind of trundles toward that bunker?
Just pump it, just like
Yeah.
run it down that left side.
Like that.
I'm thinking that's gonna open up my angle too.
I think so too. That pin's way in the right.
Yeah.
Get left. Yeah, hopefully it rolls enough to to open it up a little.
Yeah, it needs to get on its bike.
See, those are funny shots, like no spin. So
Yeah.
it's basically like deflecting off the face.
100%. Actually, yeah, it sort of almost felt like it knuckled out of there, didn't
Yeah.
it? To the right almost, if anything.
So you like hitting like a wood out of there versus like a longer iron because you feel like you got more surface area, or?
I just think I would have struggled to get much flight even on the long iron, to be honest with you, and that was going to leave me again that sort of no man's land,
Yeah.
60, 50, 60.
You don't like the half wedges very much, huh?
For me, there was, yeah, I guess not.
Yeah.
For me, there was a opportunity there that if that did come out just right, maybe
Yeah.
I'd get on the front edge.
Yeah.
So
But I think that's a good lesson though, where like the shot that you just hit was like a low runner. Like people at home might not think that professional golfers ever like resort to like hitting a shot like that, but
Yeah.
when that's what the golf course gives you, sometimes it's not pretty.
And the other thing I liked about it is that obviously it's fairly wide area, but by keeping it low, I can never hit it offline.
Yeah.
Very far offline.
Right, it's not in the air long enough.
Yeah, it's not gonna, because if you think about it like a mushroom,
Yeah.
like the longer it's in the air, the more chance it has of. I always said, when I was working with Sean Foley and probably hitting it at my best, I felt like I was hitting the ball hard, but the ball would go short, meaning that the ball was never out of control. It was always.
You felt like you could go at it.
It was always spinning up rather than knuckling. The minute I feel like the ball is knuckling, it's like then you try to hit it softer through impact, and that's what bad things happen.
He's one of my favorite people on tour.
Oh, he's
I
such a
always
dude. Yeah.
think I'm just saying hello, and then 15 minutes later we're talking about Deepak Chopra. And
Yeah, you've been enlightened on some.
you know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
like, huh? I didn't think about that, Sean.
Yeah, listen, obviously we had 10 years together as well, much like Fooch, and
Break up, back together.
Yeah, achieved a lot. And for some reason, when we got back together, I don't know, it just didn't pan out. But he's such a great guy.
Yeah.
Will be a great friend forevermore,
He just cracks me up. I just absolutely love him. Yeah, those were the it was like you, Mahan, Tiger was in the stable there for a little
that's
bit.
right.
He was juggling some serious guys.
Sean O'Hare was my
Sean O'Hare.
favorite guy.
How good was that swing?
Oof. So for me, there was a moment in time where I was working on like kind of casting the club, getting it wide, kind of getting rid of my angle at impact. Feel like I'd reset it up the plane, that type of vibe. And then I was playing with Sean O'Hare and he was going like stomping on his left foot, dragging the handle in here.
Strong flight.
And I'm going like this. And he's piping everything and I'm swooping things left. I'm like, okay, one of us has this severely wrong, conceptually.
Yeah.
And looking at the golf ball, I think it might be me.
So is that prompted you to?
That prompted me to give Sean a call, yeah.
So you saw Sean O'Hare hit
Yeah.
it so good, you said I got to give Sean Foley a call.
Yeah.
Love that. Yeah, there's no better marketing for a coach than a guy who's just flushing it.
100%.
So this one, at least for me, what I'm seeing, you can't go low because of this kick here.
Yeah. Up needs to be premium though.
You think you could still kick it there?
I could. I'd be comfortable, but
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the shot.
Just kind of land it just over the ridge.
Yeah. At the very beginning part of the flat spot.
Yeah. Really, really, really good.
Thanks.
I feel like it's like, actually, I'm gonna ask you what you think. See, that's progress.
Yeah, that's you know what they say, asking a good question is so important. So, especially as a caddy, if you can feed me the information by making it my own information, I think that's really great.
Yeah, so you feel like it came from you.
Yeah. Because then I can trust it easier.
Totally. First inclination was sort of left center. I like straight almost.
Yeah.
I just think if it loses speed, I don't feel good about either. That's not the right way to put it. I love the straight putt.
Yeah.
tried to go left. Right?
Yeah, I think it might have done.
Good putt.
Be interested to see on the camera later, but
Birdie, we made it. Good putt.
thank you. I thought you did a good job caddying there. That was some good
Thank you.
kind of
You know, I watched what I said there.
thinking about the process of what you say.
Totally.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You have to be like a calming presence.
Yeah.
Right? Like not too high, not too low.
Yeah, for sure. And the minute see, there's a player, the minute you sense your caddy doing the mental maths on those types of things, that's where he needs to be bigger than
The paycheck.
the paycheck in a sense. Like that's where they really can earn.
It's ironic. That's
they
where they
keep-
earn their paycheck.
Yeah.
By not talking about the paycheck.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. 2 under going to the last. I think we can push one more.
Okay.
Okay, so we got 286 to this bunker on the left.
Okay, see, I'm
Want me to shoot that path kind of thing? You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm seeing a bunker right through the middle there.
Yeah.
That feels like it's miles away.
400 yards.
Okay, so yeah.
I love driver just right at that thing. I could caddy for that shot. That works.
Thank you.
Really nice. I like where the game's at, man.
Yeah.
You set expectations super low. We've been flushing it ever since.
I got to sit on 3 weeks off now.
And then where will you start the
And
your
then
tour year?
San Diego, Torrey.
You like that place?
Yeah, I love it, yeah. It's one of my favorite weeks on tour, actually.
So you've been going to these same places so often. Do you have like your house that you like to rent for the week and like
Yeah,
kind of
certain
some
places,
friends in
yeah. I
different
mean,
places?
there's a great hotel, actually, that I love at San Diego. More important, there's a great coffee shop I love to hit up.
Do you do
Bird
that like
Rock.
on the road? Go find the coffee shops and stuff?
Yeah, that's kind of me and my physio Charlie. That's our thing, you know. Well, his thing that he's corrupted me on. So love kind of good boutique coffee shops.
What's your coffee order?
I'm a flat white.
Flat white. You're
Yeah.
so British. You're
That
so
is, isn't it?
refined.
Yeah. Or a cortado,
Oh God.
you know.
If I look like I'm about to poop my pants, it's because
Dude, he's big.
that's a big gator, dude.
Yeah. I mean, some dudes would be like, flick the tail. That's not me, bro.
Seen that Cody
mean-
Gribble or whatever it is? That Joe. Did you realize how close I was to the edge? No, seriously, like, can you imagine if I went over?
There's another one in there.
No, I'm not looking. I'm not looking. Oh
Sorry,
my gosh.
man. The old ones are the best.
Can you imagine if I just lost every club in the swamp? And there's probably another gator in there.
There's freaking hundreds of them.
Yeah. Are there gators in
I mean,
Bahamas?
no,
No?
just sharks.
So you don't go in the water.
I mean, you do go in the water, but it's weird. Like, people just trust them.
Trust the sharks?
Yeah.
That seems like a pretty arbitrary choice.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's bull sharks and there's tiger sharks, and I think you don't trust those. But people are with the reef sharks. They don't seem fussed.
Yeah. That's scary.
I know, me too.
I'm not a gator guy.
No, sorry, boss. That was
No,
good.
no, that was great.
If Fooch was here, which you're Fooch today, I'd have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Fooch. Okay.
164. It's definitely a breath in two off the left, but I feel like it's kind of 8 all day.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're right, boss.
I think it's a good number. Yeah. Good swing.
Thanks.
Pretty straight. Maybe
Yeah,
cut a little.
I kind of was trying to do my little Tommy Fleetwood vibes there.
What is that, the 3/4?
Yeah, like the little punchy feel, which I think sometimes like just stabilizes the face.
That drill he does gives me anxiety just looking at it. You
When he's
the one
just
I'm talking
missing
about?
the-
where he's got like 4 different contraptions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's pure.
Oh my God, is he pure? I remember like
Thank you.
when I first saw him, I was surprised at how like slight of a person he is.
Yeah.
He's not very big, but the ball flight's so strong. It's almost got a little bit like that Sean O'Hare, like
Yeah, 100%.
penetrating.
Yeah. He compresses the golf ball.
Yeah. All right, this is the big one for 3 under. I don't say the first word anymore.
Okay. I had it breaking quite a bit from that side, maybe starting over this pitch mark.
I like that. It's kind of exactly where I was looking. I think it's got more movement in the end than the ones we've had so far.
Okay. And then from that side, it was maybe just straightening out on me a hair, but I'm liking it. I think this is a fast putt,
Yeah, I think it's not one you can be
so
super
I have to
aggressive
give it
with.
some respect with
The high line. Go. Don't you stop. Oh
No.
my goodness!
Come on.
How did that not? I thought it was dead center.
Not been my day with a blade.
Oh, what a good roll.
Does
Good
that mean
putt.
one down to J-Day?
One down. That was a lot of fun. though.
J-Day.
You got him this time, J-Day. That was awesome, man. Thank you so much for
Thank
doing
you
that.
so
I
much,
appreciate
bud.
it. That was a lot of
Appreciate
fun.
you. It was great.
So
Enjoyed it.
You got to give me a grade as a caddy.
Oh, I think that started off awesome 7, and I think worked your way into a 9.25.
I'll take a 9.
I think you know, some of the questions you were beginning to ask, you were starting to realize, okay, I'm going to let me make the first move. Like some of those things, I think from a psychology point of caddying are so key and critical, and I think you tapped into that quickly, which is awesome.
One thing I've learned about this from this series is caddying is like at least 40% being a shrink, basically.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
we got to keep
100%.
you in the right mindset. Well, thank you so much for
you, boss.
doing it.
Dan, thank
you
you.
to
Thanks,
Old
guys.
Marsh. Thank you to Mastercard. Awesome. We're super excited for the Arnold Palmer Invitational presented by Mastercard.
Absolutely.
And
I'll see you
thanks
there.
for watching On the Bag. Hit like and subscribe.